Hello and welcome my dear students, first prep second term ونطق كلمات lessons 5 and 6 unit 8 غالي أو ذو قيمة valuable valuable مسابقة أو منافسة competition competition عام public public كتاب إرشادي guidebook guidebook مجموعة collection collection عمود column column الN silent column يصمم أو تصميم design design نافورة fountain fountain اللغة الهيروغليفية hieroglyphics hieroglyphics كنز treasure 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 يعرض أو معرض display display والماضي displayed مدخل entrance entrance دراجة بخارية motorbike motorbike قرن اللي هو 100 عام century 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 تمثال statue statue مربع الشكل square square مقال article article مساحة أو فراغ space space يرحب welcome welcome وسط المدينة city center city center أشياء objects objects ينقل أو ينتقل move والماضي moved يخطط أو خطة plan وإذا كانت verb فالماضي planned غرفة زجاجية glass room glass room and monuments المتحف المصري الكبير the Grand Egyptian Museum the Grand Egyptian Museum معبد الكرنك Karnak Temple معبد هابو هابو Temple هابو Temple الساحة الكبرى the Great Court the Great Court قاعة هايبوستايل Hypostyle Hall Hypostyle Hall وادي الملوك the Valley of the Kings the Valley of the Kings حجر رشيد Rosetta Stone Rosetta Stone رمسيس الثاني Ramses the second statue Ramses the second statue المتحف البريطاني the British Museum حديقة الأزهر الأزهر بارك الأزهر بارك موقع إلكتروني website review website review حجري أو حجر stone stone حدائق عامة parks parks كاتب writer writer يفضل prefer والماضي preferred مقهى cafe cafe بحيرة lake lake conjugation of irregular verbs يكتب write wrote written يضع put 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 يقضي spend spent spent يختار choose chose chosen choose chose chosen words and opposites مختلف different متشابه similar مشهور famous غير معروف unknown قمة top قاع bottom bottom أقوى stronger أضعف weaker قريب near بعيد far تعريفات هامة. Column, a tall structure that holds up part of a building. Competition, an event often followed by a prize in which people try to be the best at something. The way into a building, such as a door or gate. Museum, a building to keep and display important objects from the past. Treasure, a quantity of valuable metals, jewels, etc. Important expressions and prepositions. واحد من, one of the, يشير إلى, refer to. يزداد ازدحاما أو ينشغل أكثر. Get busier, مساحة لي, space for, قادر على, be able to. مجموعة من, a collection of, يسمح بي, allowed to. في عطلة نهاية الأسبوع, at the weekend, أثناء اليوم, during the day. حجرة مساحتها 5000 متر مربع, 5000 square meter room. مميز فيه, special about, في القرن 21, in the 21st century. يقضي أجازة رائعة, have a wonderful holiday. لفترة أطول, for longer. جزئي المفضل, my favorite part. الفكرة الرئيسية, the main idea of. يعرض رأي, show opinion. لأول مرة, for the first time. جزء من, part of. يقضي وقتا طويلا, spend a lot of time. من المتوقع أن, it is expected to. نأتي إلى الريدنج اللي بيطبق فيه الكلمات اللي قدمناها. The Grand Egyptian Museum. 1. The oldest museum in Cairo opened in 1835. There were more than 160,000 of Egypt's most valuable treasures on display. However, the museum did not have space for 100,000 other objects. In 2002, there was a competition to design a bigger and more modern museum. The competition had 1,557 designs from more than 80 different countries. The Egyptian Museum, GEM, welcomed its first visitors in 2019. It's farther from the city center than the old museum, but only 2 kilometers from the pyramids at Giza. It has more space for valuable objects. More people can see them, and it is able to look after the objects really well. 3. One of the most beautiful parts of the museum is the entrance, with its big plants and statues. The biggest statue is that of Ramses II, which is 12 meters high. 4. Moving these objects from the old museum in Tahrir to the Grand Egyptian Museum is not easy. It is expected to take many years of hard work. القطعة التالية. We had a wonderful holiday in Egypt. These are my opinions about 3 of the most interesting places. The Valley of the Kings in Luxor is one of the most popular places for tourists to visit. We went early because that is the quietest time. My brother said this is fantastic. I'm sure it gets busier later on during the day. The biggest place we went to was the Karnak Temple. My favorite part was the Hypostyle Hall, a 5,000 square meter room with 134 stone columns. 134 stone columns. I think it was more crowded than the Valley of the Kings. In my opinion, the best and the quietest place we visited was Habo Temple. It has columns similar to those at Karnak, but because it is less crowded, you can study them for longer. The British Museum. The British Museum in London is the oldest public museum in the world. It opened in 1759 and now has more than 13 million objects. About 6 million visitors go there every year. The museum had the biggest collection of Egyptian objects outside Egypt. One of its most important objects is the Rosetta Stone. This arrived at the museum in 1802. The writing on the stone is in 3 different languages. This allowed people to understand ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics for the first time. In my opinion, the most beautiful part of the museum is the Great Court. Its big glass room makes it the largest covered square in Europe. It opened in 2000, so it is also the most modern part of the museum. Park. Al-Azhar Park is the largest and most beautiful park in Cairo. It's much larger than the small park near my house. That park has a few trees and plants and I enjoy going there after school. You can spend an hour or 2 in that park, but you can spend a lot of time at Al-Azhar Park. There are taller and it has more plants. It also has fountains, a lake. I like going there because there is space for all our family to have a big picnic. At the weekends. My sister always says, I love it here. Video script. Do you know about the 7 wonders of the ancient world? People thought that they were the most fantastic buildings in the world. Many of them were in or near Egypt. For many centuries, this lighthouse of Alexandria was the tallest building ever made. The sea was dangerous for boats because there were a lot of rocks near Alexandria. The lighthouse warned boats about the rocks. This was a very important invention. We use similar technology today. We still use lighthouses to warn boats about rocks. Boats are safer now, thanks to the work of the ancient Egyptians. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon were probably in modern-day Iraq. These were beautiful gardens around a huge palace. The statue of Zeus was in ancient Greece. This was believed to be the biggest statue in the world. Another wonder of the world was the Another wonder of the world was the Colossus of Rhodes. Colossus of Rhodes. This was another big statue in ancient Greek. The ancient Greeks also built the temple of Artemis and the tomb of Marcellus. Tomb of Marcellus. Time and earthquakes destroyed most of these wonders of the world. After an earthquake in Alexandria, they built Fort Caid Bay at the same place as the lighthouse of Alexandria and used many stones from the same building. Today, only the Great Pyramid of Giza remains. Experts believe that this was the first ancient wonder because it is older than the others. Every year, millions of people come to see the pyramids of Egypt. They are some of the most visited tourist attractions anywhere. For many people, the Great Pyramid of Giza is also a wonder of the modern world. Which building do you like the best? Why?